What's going on, everybody? It's Stas here. So the stock market had a pretty solid day yet again today. S&P 500 up 12 points, up about 0.4%. The Dow Jones actually went down about 60 points, down 0.2%. And the NASDAQ went up 95 points, up 0.8%. And in this video, we're going to be talking more about the stock market, breaking down some technicals, going over the top stocks that I'm looking to buy as we're getting deeper into August and into September here of 2020. And I also want to go over with you guys what I've been doing here in the markets as of late. And let me tell you guys, today was a fantastic day in the stock market for me. And we have a couple of companies here to break down. I believe 4 companies that reported earnings today. So a lot to go over. If you guys find value in the video, hit that like button for me. Consider subscribing to the channel and check out all the free links down below in the description box if you want to join our Strive Smart Discord chat, Facebook group. All of those are linked down below. Same thing with the Webull link, which if you guys use that Webull link, you get 2 free stocks valued up to $1,400. All you have to do is deposit $100 into the account. So free money, link down below. And with that said, let's get right into the video. And like I said, guys, S&P 500 was green, up 12 points, up 0.36%. And we hit an all-time high at 3,444 points here, literally right at the end of the day. And you guys can see that here on this intraday chart, right at about 3:57 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, S&P 500 hit that all-time high. And we've talked about how, and especially in recent videos here yesterday and Sunday, we talked about how if the S&P were to break 3,400, it was pretty much off to the races at that point. And we got exactly that. We got the gap up here on Monday out of 3,400, which was very bullish. We got that double bottom breakout yesterday as well, heading into the close, which was also very bullish. And the fact that we actually sold off a bit today kind of shook some weak hands out, and we held a higher low and another double bottom breakout here. You know, that's another sign that the bulls are heading in charge and, getting even more head of steam. Let's put it that way. And that's what I'm seeing here at this point, right? Double bottom breakout yesterday, followed by another double bottom breakout today, heading into the close of the market. That is fantastic, fantastic news and technicals here for the bulls, at least. Obviously, the bears, if you're shorting SPY, which is an ETF that tracks the S&P 500, you're losing money at this point. So obviously, this is a good trend for the bulls, right? And when it comes to the S&P, on the upside, obviously there's no resistances as we're at all-time highs, but on the downside, a couple levels that we could pull down to, maybe, just maybe, guys, maybe $3,400, maybe $3,375, right around this 50 SMA here on the 4-hour chart. Those are a couple of spots we could get to if we pull down, and it makes sense for a pull down, guys, quite honestly, as RSI is very overbought, and we haven't really seen a decent pull down here in a couple of days, pretty much ever since the 19th. So if we pull down a bit, I wouldn't be surprised, but either way, bulls are in charge. S&P 500 is at all-time highs, and the Dow Jones today had a red day, but let me explain to you guys why I still think the bulls are in charge. Take a look at what happened here. We actually hit a high today. We hit a high at 28,400, so that is a higher high in the uptrend pattern, hence bulls being in charge. And we pulled down, we shook out some weak hands here on the Dow, and ultimately the Dow held the uptrend. It held the uptrend at a higher low here on the 5-day 5-minute, and it rallied into the close, and most importantly, it closed above and it broke above 28,200, which has been a resistance here for a while on the Dow Jones. So that movement is looking very bullish to me, despite it going red on the day, down about 60 points. And for tomorrow, just take a look at 28,200. That is really a strong level at this point. If that holds and we start to rally up higher, we might be taking out the highs from earlier today, again at about 28,400. And from there, an even higher level of resistance is going to be around 29,400. That's kind of the all-time high at this point. That is the all-time high, right around there. So if we're able to break and start to make our move up, that is where we could be headed here on the Dow. And the NASDAQ, again, up 95 points today. And this one is kind of in need for a pull down, at least in my opinion. Tech is getting hot right now. Apple is splitting here in a couple of days. People are kind of rushing into that stock, and obviously that has a big influence here on the NASDAQ and on the overall markets. And in general, we're seeing other tech beasts running. I mean, Amazon might have hit an all-time high today. It might have. Actually, no, it didn't. But it hit one yesterday. So either way, it's at an all-time high. So that's bringing up the NASDAQ. Google is crushing it back above $1,600 here. Netflix, $490. This one's been struggling, but it's still pretty doing pretty well. So the NASDAQ is at a high point, and quite honestly, I'd like to see it pull down and test maybe 11,300, right around this 50 SMA here on the 4-hour chart. That is where I think we could end up pulling down to if it ends up happening. And maybe that could, obviously, if weekends get shaken out. And maybe after the stock split here on Apple, maybe people start to sell off a little, sell the shares. Maybe the stock falls, and then people argue, no, Stas, it's going to go higher because psychological buying is going to start to occur where people think the stock is cheaper despite, valuations not really changing. So at this point, it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the next couple of days. But me personally, guys, I wouldn't rush into anything. I'd just be very patient and cautious at this point when it comes to investing and trading in this market. But as always, guys, you have to do your own research, approach with caution, and of course, do your own due diligence when it comes to everything here when it comes to the stock market. Don't rely on me. You always have to make decisions for yourselves. So overall, that's what's going on in the markets. Nothing crazy. Bulls are in charge. Same as pretty much what's been going on, guys. Nothing's really changing here. And when it comes to my trading, I made some moves today. I actually got into Foot Locker earlier in the day, ticker symbol FL. And this is a company that a lot of people have been talking about. They reported earnings recently about, what was it, on Friday they reported earnings? Thursday or Friday? No, it was on Friday, and they did pretty well. I mean, they squeezed out a surprise profit. Same-store sales were up a decent amount year over year. I mean, up about 18% in this Q2. That's very good stuff. And the stock actually went down from about $35 when we initially got that rumor, leak news, whatever. I don't even know if it was leak news. It must have been at this point, honestly. But either way, we got that news. The stock went to $35. Now it's down to about $27. And to me, guys, this is an opportunity, especially if it breaks out above 30. And with this one, I couldn't help myself. I should have waited until it broke. Let me correct my grammar here, guys. I should have waited till it broke above 30 to add a position, but I nibbled a little bit today. Quite honestly, I nibbled a little bit today, and let me open up my notes to see exactly where. I believe it was at around 29.60, if I remember correctly. Yeah, 29.62 is where I ended up buying. It must have been on this sell-off here in the morning. Yep, it was right around here on this initial sell-off. So I'm break even on the position right now, but I'm planning on adding more, like I said, if it breaks out of 30. So I'm buying a bit here, getting my feet wet, and I'll add a lot more if it breaks above 30. So I'm in Foot Locker, and I had to cut my losses on CLX today, guys. And it's not because I'm losing faith in the company, but the trend is turning against me. And what I always say is don't fight the trend, right? If the trend is turning against you and it's going against what you initially had planned for the stock, just get out. Just get out, take the loss, and go to cash, and then maybe reevaluate and enter later. And I personally got in at 226.80, and the loss wasn't substantial. It was about 2%, 2.5%, and I ended up selling out at $220.35, pretty much right around my stop loss there. And to give you a precise figure here, to see exactly how much of a percentage loss it was. I think it was around 2% at least, a little bit more. You guys can see here, yeah, right around 2.5 to about 2.7% of a loss there. And with how much money, let me be honest, guys, with how much money I made with these other two stocks that I'm in, I don't even care about the loss, quite honestly. And it's the cost of doing business. If you're in the stock market trading, making moves, you're not going to win every move. I mean, it's stupid to think you're going to win every move. Don't believe these YouTube ads of these guys. They're so cringy. Oh, my goodness, guys. These people that are like, oh, I'm going to make you $25,000 and 800% with very little risk. God, don't listen to that. That stuff is crap. You're not going to win every trade. You're going to lose some trades, and you have to identify the trades that you want to cut out of, and then once you have this cash, you have the ability to either deploy it somewhere else or just sit on the cash. And like I say all the time, guys, cash is an investment. So I took a little loss there on CLX, but no big deal, because if you guys watched yesterday's video and Sunday's video, Friday's video, we've been calling out NEO stock like crazy, guys. We've been calling it out, and I got in yesterday as a swing trade at $14.60. 14, guys. And take a look at what it got to today. It got to $17.80 at the close of the market. And after hours, it's up to $18.50, guys. This thing is not stopping. The stock was up 20% at the close of the market today, and it's got to be up over 25%, including after hours. And me personally, I'm not in it anymore. I locked in profits at $17.22 on this first little pull down here, and I'm not complaining because I made 20% on my shares on one day, guys. That is unbelievable here. So, and another lesson here is, don't always try and grab everything in terms of the profit, right? I obviously left money on the table, but don't get too greedy. That's kind of what I'm trying to get to here. I made a lot of money. Sure, I could have made even more money, but I am happy with this 22%, not 22%. It was more like 18%, so I'm rounding up a little bit here. But overall, I'm happy with that game that I made with NEO. And now that NEO is getting a bit overbought, its RSI is 86 here on the 4-hour chart. I'm looking at it for a pull down. That's why I ended up cashing out, quite honestly, guys, because I think it's overheated, and we might be able to get maybe shares in the low 16s, maybe high 15s if it does end up pulling back. And it's going to be interesting, guys. Sometimes with these hot stocks, it's hard to see what's going to happen, which is why I like to say, especially if you're swing trading, short-term trading and stuff, if you have a big profit, don't be shy to just lock it in. Don't be shy to at least take some profit off the table. At least that's what I'm trying to do. And then wait for it to cool off, wait for a potential pull down. So watch out for maybe $15, $50, $16, but then again, we might not even get the pull down. So just be careful there, but ultimately, I made a lot of money today on NEO. Let me know down below what you guys did. And I also made a lot of money on Workhorse, but I didn't realize the gain, meaning I am still holding this position. The position is still open, and I'm in at about the low 16s. I bought more yesterday at about, $15.85 to about 90 cents. I bought more Workhorse, and before that, I actually owned Workhorse at $16.40. So I'm in around the low-ish $16, and today it was up 11%. It closed at $18.20, so a lot of money was made there. And again, I didn't lock in profits here. I want to keep this position open, and I think if it breaks $18, it's going off to the races up to $20 per share, which gives it even more upside of about 10%. So Workhorse, I'm crushing it on that. I'm sure you guys are as well if you own it. And NEO did very well there. CLX, cut losses, Foot Locker, I'm building a swing there. And I'm also still in gold stocks and a gold ETF here that tracks the price of gold. So I'm still in GLD, I'm still in GDX just to have that gold exposure. Also, I'm still in Upwork, which is doing pretty decent today, holding $14 like we planned it to and we talked about recently. So that's a good sign. So I'm watching a move here for Upwork up to maybe $15. And I'm also still in Netflix at about $4.95. So I'm still down a little bit on Netflix, but ultimately it's a longer term swing for me. And by the way, guys, forgot to mention I'm in Upwork at $14.40. So I held through some pain in Upwork. It was down under $13 yesterday, a little bit today as well, but I'm not selling out. I'm long this one for at least a while. Let's just put it that way. I think this company and the stock is going north from here. That's just my personal opinion. So let's get into now some earnings reports. And before we do, drop a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on the stock market, what I personally did, what you guys did today. Let me know what you guys did. I always love responding to all the comments. I tried to at least. Remember, guys, this is a one-man show. This is what you get right here. Me. I don't have anybody working for me. This is still a small channel, and it's sometimes the comments do get a bit, not overwhelming, but I do get a decent amount of comments, so I try to get back to everybody, and again, I just appreciate all you guys at the end of the day. So let me know down below, and let's get into some earnings here. So we had CRM Salesforce report today, and they ended up doing EPS of $1.44 versus 67 cents estimated. So they crushed EPS. Revenue came in at $5.15 billion versus $4.9 billion. So they beat there on revenue as well, and they think they projected the guidance is going to be more than what the analysts are expecting. So they see EPS of 73 cents versus 74 cents for quarter two versus 76 cents. So that's not beating what analysts are expecting, actually. But what is the full year guidance. Full year guidance of EPS is 372 372 through 374 versus 296, and I believe that's for full year 2021. Let me double check that. I should be able to see it here on the live news tab, but either way, they're looking, in terms of their guidance, it's looking pretty solid here for CRM. And the stock, you guys can see after hours, it is up to $245 per share, and it closed at $216. So it's up immensely after hours. So watch out for this. I mean, if we get a pull down, it could be a nice little play on the momentum. And another one that could be is BBY, Best Buy. And it kind of played out like we talked about, one of the scenarios that we talked about yesterday. And we mentioned how, and I talked to you guys about, I thought Best Buy was kind of overbought. It was in the 120s, kind of pricing earnings to perfection. And I was talking about how if it were to pull down maybe to 100, 105, 110, right around this 50 SMA, that could be a decent spot to consider it. And lo and behold, that's exactly what happened. From 120 down to about $108 earlier today. You guys can see it here on the intraday chart. And we held that, and we rallied from there, closing at about 112. So at this point, we have about an $8 window of potential profit on Best Buy on earnings that were decent. Pretty good, actually. Adjusted EPS came in at $1.71 versus $1.04, so they crushed EPS. And revenue came in at $9.91 billion versus $9.73 billion. And get this, guys, online sales shot up 242% in the U.S. compared with the prior year. And the retailer, however, despite the fact that we're seeing this, one bad thing is that it's remaining a bit cautious when it comes to providing guidance, which is kind of what we've been seeing with a lot of companies here. And the retailer has a cautious eye towards the future, as it said everything from government stimulus to the unemployment rate could change how much customers spend in the coming months. You guys have to realize, if the stimulus stops, which at some point it's going to, these checks stop, and we kind of get a reality check, people might not be going out and buying products from Best Buy, and maybe a lot of other companies out there at that. So that's something worth considering. And another thing that's good, besides what I just said, that is kind of something to keep an eye out for, that could be a risk factor. We saw same-store sales growth of 5.8% versus 2.3% expected. So that is a pretty good beat there when it comes to that. So overall, Best Buy, I think it could be a dip buy here. And Toll Brothers also reported today some pretty decent numbers. 90 cents of EPS versus 71 cents estimated. Revenue came in at $1.65 billion versus $1.55 billion, so a double beat there, and they see the next quarter deliveries of homes at around 2,400 to about 2,500 homes, with an average price of around $815 to about $835,000. So we know Toll Brothers is a kind of luxury home builder, so that's good news. And I haven't done a deep dive into this company to see how that compares to other years, but overall the stock seems to like these earnings. It's up about 1.5% since they got reported. So watch out for Toll Brothers and Smuckers, guys. I know you guys like your PB&Js, and you got to thank Smuckers for that. They make some pretty good stuff there. And they reported EPS of $2.37 versus $1.67 estimated. So they crushed EPS, and revenue came in at $1.97 billion versus $1.77 billion estimated. So double beat there on Smuckers. I don't know if the dividend, I don't even know what the dividend is. That's besides the point. The stock went up 7% today, and they provided some good guidance that I believe beat expectations. So watch out for Smuckers here, especially if you guys like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. You got to support good old Smuckers here. And that's all I got when it comes to earnings. And for these upcoming couple of days, the main one I'm watching out for is Ulta, ticker symbol ULTA. So keep an eye out on that one. And now let's get into some other stocks that I'm looking to buy, many of which have been beaten down here that are slowly coming back. So Starbucks is one of those. And I've said here, and I've been on record, that I believe Starbucks is due for a good recovery. And this could be the start of it. Up 5% today, up $4 per share. And I've been buying this one in my long-term accounts from the $70 range, $73, pretty much from $73 up to about $77, $78. I've been in buy mode when it comes down to Starbucks here, and we took out $80. And on top of that, we also took out $81.80 to about $82. Both of those big resistances. If you guys take a look here on the yearly chart, Starbucks was having it saw a big support at about $82 back in the beginning. Actually, more towards the end of 2019, we triple bottomed there at about 82 and rallied up to about 95, and then once 82 broke, obviously it became a new resistance. So I'm thinking now that 82 broke, the next spot we could get to is the mid-80s. The next bigger resistance is around $84.50 to about $85 that I'm seeing here on Starbucks. And another big one is Oracle. And Oracle is kind of in a fight right now with Microsoft when it comes to who's going to buy TikTok. You know, it's either Oracle, at least from my understanding, it's Oracle or Microsoft. So keep an eye out on Oracle here. It's not too attractive as opposed to, Starbucks. I think Starbucks is a bit more attractive, but you could argue that Oracle is decently down from its highs. It's down about $4. It's not that much off its highs. Let's not exaggerate it, guys. I mean, it's down about 6-7% off its highs, but if it inks a deal to get TikTok, that could end up shooting the stock up above its all-time highs, out of $60-65 range, and that's going to be good news. And of course, the same thing with Microsoft, right? If Microsoft gets this TikTok deal, Microsoft could be going above $225 per share. That is what we could end up seeing. And we're already seeing Microsoft break out of $215, big resistance stemming back from the beginning of July. So this could be the breakout to the 220-225 level. So watch Oracle. It could be great, a decent buying opportunity if TikTok it gets bought by Oracle. And Shopify is looking pretty bullish to me as well here. Shopify, SHOP, ended up holding at a higher low today on this 4-hour chart on the 180 SMA. That is looking very, very good. And we're slowly testing 1040 to 1050. That is a big level of resistance that I'm personally waiting for it to break before buying Shopify. And from there, I think from 1050, it has a pretty easy shot to get up to about 11.15, which is around a 6% move up to that all-time high here for Shopify. So pretty bullish price action overall here today. We're kind of seeing a V recovery over the past 2 days of trading. You guys can see it more on this 5-day, 5-minute. Now we just need to see if it breaks out of 1050. And again, if that happens, watch out above here on Shopify. And the next one here is one that's been talked about a lot by Jeremy over on Financial Education, another big YouTube channel. I'm sure you guys, if you're following me, you guys probably have heard of Financial Education. This one is actually called Planet 13, and I've been getting a lot of questions about this one, and quite honestly, I haven't done a deep dive into it myself, but I understand that it's obviously an MJ company. It has a location over there in Vegas where you can go and have an experience where you can eat there, you can drink coffee there, you can see how the MJ is produced, you can buy it, you can just walk around, have a whole nice experience over there in Vegas. That's my understanding. And now they're looking to take this whole location, this whole experience, and recreate it in other markets. So I don't know if they'll be successful at that, but that's kind of their business model in under 30 seconds. And this stock, by the way, it's OTC. It's traded over the counter. And if you're on Robinhood, you can buy this. And I don't know. That's just something worth noting because I know many of you guys out there are on Robinhood or whatever, Webull. I'm not even sure if you can buy it on Webull. And speaking of that, go get your 2 free stocks down below. They're valued up to $1,400. Do not miss out on that. But either way, you can't buy them on Robinhood. And I know for a fact, I haven't bought into it, but I know for a fact you can buy OTC on Fidelity, but that's besides the point. So Planet 13 at this point hit a peak at 427, very overheated there, no doubt about it, and now we're finally seeing a recovery off this higher low on the 50 SMA bounce on this 4-hour, right around $3. So it saw the $1.27 correction, massive correction, guys. I mean, that's about a 30% drop. That's a big correction, and it recovered from there. Now it's off those lows at about $3. It's up 20% to where it is right now. So I think there is more potential in this one rallying back up to $4 just based off this trend here. But be careful. They are reporting earnings this upcoming week, I believe, on the 31st. So that's actually on Monday, the same day that the Tesla and the Apple split is going into effect. And it's just worth watching, I think. This is a lower volume, maybe not lower volume. Actually, let's check how much volume it does have. 3 million volume. That's decent volume, but it's a lower market cap stock. Let's put it that way. It's a bit more risky, so be careful with it. But overall, I think it could make a decent trade, and I'll have to do a deeper dive to understand if it's a good investment long term, at least for me, guys. So watch out for that one. Watch out for DKNG as well. DraftKings up 9% today, broke out of 35. Well, it's been broke above 35, but now it broke out of 39 to about $40 per share. It's holding that as a support. And now we could end up making a move back up to test those highs back at the end of June, right around $43, which gives DraftKings another about 7%, 8% upside from where it is right now. So watch DraftKings here on the momentum. Volume is starting to kick in as well. And Cheesecake Factory, guys, up about 0.3% today. Nothing crazy, but the reason why I'm watching it is because it popped the 28, pulled down, We held 26.75 at a higher low here on the 5-day 5-minute, and we recovered out of there, and we held 27 as a support. So I think Cheesecake Factory, guys, ultimately is going to $30 per share. That's where I think it could go to here in the short term based off of that high back in the beginning of June. So based on today's price action, that is still very valid. So watch out for that one. CGC, another MJ company here, showing support at around $16. Very well worth watching, in my opinion. Each time we've touched 16 ever since the beginning of June, we've seen a rally up to at least the mid-$18 range. So it's safe to say that that could happen again. I think it could happen again. Will it? No one knows. No one knows. There's always a risk that we break under $16, but I think this could end up being a decent success. Let's put it maybe like a decent success rate type of trade. You know, I'd put my odds at, let's say, 70-30 that we go up to, $18 from here. So we'll watch it. We'll see what happens out of let's say this 20-day 1-hour chart. We'll see what happens here if we break out of that 180 SMA. From there, we could end up seeing a higher move. And another one here, the last one that doesn't have much left up to the next resistance point, but still worth watching here on the bullish momentum, is Mercado Libre, the Argentinian e-commerce company here. And this is one that's owned in many of the ARK Invest active ETFs. And based on the previous resistance compared to where we are now, we have about $50 left in the tank. Actually, my math is awful, guys. More like $60 left in the tank up to there. And who knows, we could go even higher, maybe $1,300, all-time high, maybe $1,350. So it's worth watching, MELI. And to end the video, guys, don't forget about Apple and Tesla, the two most exciting stocks at this point. They're going to split on the 31st. Apple is doing a 4-for-1, and Tesla is doing a 5-for-1. And yes, if you buy the stock at any point this week, you will get the split. Don't worry about that. As long as you buy it before the 28th, which is on Friday, and obviously there's no trading over the weekend. So Apple is pulling down a bit off of, it's about $15 off its highs. Tesla, let's take a look at what it did today. It's about $130 off its highs, $110 off its highs. So we'll see what happens here. It seems like Tesla's tuning up for another rally. It sure could be. We'll see tomorrow if it gaps up. And same exact thing here with Apple. So I'd love to know your thoughts down below in the comments. What do you guys think about the markets, everything going on, the future? I'd love to know. Let me know down below. And don't forget to join our free Strive Smart Discord chat, free Facebook group, and the free money from Webull. 2 free stocks valued up to $1,400. Those are linked down below waiting for you. All you have to do is deposit $100, and you get 2 free stocks, and I also get 2 free stocks since it is an affiliate link, and I do appreciate you guys if you do use that, as it does help me directly, supports me directly for all of the free content that I'm putting up on YouTube. So I'll catch you all in the next video. Thanks for watching as always. Be safe out there, guys. Good luck in this crazy market. Peace out.